World leaders met in Brussels earlier this week for an emergency NATO summit on Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Western government officials discussed next steps they will take to thwart Russian aggression, but a no-fly zone is still off the table. The latest Nanos polling suggests Canadians are in mostly favor of increasing sanctions against Russia, but are divided when it comes to supporting a no-fly zone over the skies of Ukraine. For more, I'm joined by Nick Nanos, founder and chief data scientist at Nanos Research. Nick, good to see you this morning.
Good to see you too, Andrea.
All right, so Canadians are split on whether they support a no-fly zone over Ukraine. What are the numbers telling you?
Well, the thing is, in the CTV News Globe Nanos survey that we did, we asked straight up how Canadians felt about instituting a no-fly zone, even if it meant an escalation with the Russians over the war in the Ukraine. About 47% of Canadians supported or somewhat supported a no-fly zone. Opposed to no-fly zone. So Canadians are basically split right down the middle when it comes to a no-fly zone, which could escalate tensions with the Russians.
All right, but at the same time, Canadians mostly support increasing economic sanctions. Is there a little bit of a disconnect there?
Well, I think one of the things is that the support for increasing economic sanctions, even if prices went up, is actually quite strong at around 83% of Canadians who support and somewhat support, compared to about 15% who oppose or somewhat oppose. I think what this speaks to the matter is that Canadians would like to try to put more pressure on the Russians to stop, but that they're a little more tentative when it comes to escalating things from a military perspective when it comes to NATO and Canada's involvement on that front.
That's interesting because 41% of Canadians support going to war with Ukraine should the Russians invade another country. Can you explain those stats to us?
Yeah, I think what it does show, Andrea, is that there's a bit of a line in the sand, that if there was an expansion of the Russians, or, for example, if the Russians decided to invade another country other than the Ukraine, you can see that when you lump together support and somewhat support, it's actually 2/3 of Canadians that would be good with going to war as part of a NATO effort against Russia if Russia decided to invade another country beyond the Ukraine, while only about 1 out of every 5 or 27% opposed or somewhat opposed. This speaks to, I think, where Canadians are. They want to contain the risk. They want to not escalate the military tension, but to continue to put economic and other types of what I'll say non-military pressure on the Russians in order to have some sort of settlement or resolution.
All right, and Canadian opinion on accepting refugees compared to what we have previously accepted for Syrians who came here are only slightly more likely to think that we should accept more. Why is that?
Well, the thing is, we tested on, as you know, Andrea, Canada accepted about 70,000 Syrian refugees. We use that as a benchmark, and we asked Canadians whether they would be willing to accept more, the same, or less than in the Syrian situation. 44% are open to accepting more than 70,000 individuals from the Ukraine as refugees. 41% the same. So I guess one way to look at it, glass half empty, glass half full, is about 85% of Canadians are good with accepting at least 70,000 refugees from the Ukraine, while only about 7% say that we should be accepting less than 70,000. So a lot of generosity, when I look at the numbers at least, on that front, in terms of Canadians opening up and trying to welcome Ukrainians who are fleeing the war in the Ukraine.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. Once again, that is Nick Nanos, founder and chief data scientist at Nanos Research. Thanks for your time, Nick.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.